Welcome everyone. It is our introductory module of the course Architecture Conservation. Though the title of the course is Architecture Conservation, there is the word heritage hidden between somewhere. The title Architecture Conservation may be act as a short form of Architecture Heritage Conservation or sometimes Heritage Conservation. In some cases, it is also synonymous with Architectural Heritage Management. This module is the first part of the first lecture on Introduction to Architecture Conservation. In this module, we will explore why architectural heritage conservation is important. To do so, let's start with an image of a heritage building. Some of you may have seen this building on Facebook, or even some of you have seen it in real life. This photo was taken in 2017. It is a photo of the protest against the demolition of Khamarbari. But the protest was not successful, and later the government demolished the building. Around 3 years ago, in 2014, the government authority declared the colonial structure risky and later proposed a development plan for this site. This demolition was part of this new development. But there are many people that feel that those century-old buildings could educate the future generation about the heritage of city. This structure signifies our struggles and achievements as a nation, and this needed to be preserved. Many such structures are very important aesthetically, as they are beautiful, historically, as they are important, but they are just getting deteriorated due to the negligence, due to lack of finance and other practical reasons. We are losing those heritages every day. Unfortunately, Bangladesh has numerous of them. So now the question comes that what should we do with them? Should we demolish them all or preserve them? It is hard to find an answer from our local experiences. Let's see how the world deals with them. The image here is the historic center of Warsaw in Poland. If you have an idea of European city, you may think that it is a historical structure which are very old. But in reality, it is not. It is an outstanding example of a near total reconstruction. The term total reconstruction here means to build again something that has been damaged or destroyed. In August 1944, during the Second World War, more than 80% of the historic center of Warsaw was destroyed by the Nazi groups of Germany. After the war, the people of the city and the government decided to reconstruct it. It took more than 5 years to restore the old town. This is the market square as after reconstruction. Presently, it is a key tourist attraction for the city as well as for Europe. Many tourists visit this market square throughout the year and lots of activities happen there. Most of the houses are converted to museum, which was previously being used predominantly as residential quarter. Many of those museums exhibits how the reconstruction took place and the history of the area. It is evident that this reconstruction was authentic. During the war, the market square is completely destroyed. Not only the market area, but about 85% of the city was destroyed too, and the city was reconstructed. At this point, one might question that if nothing was existed and all are reconstructed, why are they so important? Definitely, it is an exceptional example of complete reconstruction of a city, but it is more important that it is a manifestation of the strength and determination of a nation by which they thought that it should be reconstructed. That is why UNESCO declared the city center as a World Heritage Site. These workshop projects remind us three key things. Firstly, if proper investigation and proper finance is available, a heritage, which can be a structure or a city, could be reconstructed even if it's more than 80% destroyed. Secondly, if the government works with the people for any betterment, then the possibilities become limitless. And finally, a heritage could economically facilitate the inhabitants of the structure. and also could help to grow a city economically. Let's move to the UK for another example. This is the Coventry Cathedral in England. The Coventry Cathedral, or the St. Michael's Church, was largely constructed between the late 14th century and early 15th century. It was one of the largest parish churches in England till 1918. The Coventry city was bombed many times during the Second World War by the German Air Force. The most devastating of those attacks occurred on the evening of 14th November 1940. During that bombing, the Coventry Cathedral was bombed almost to destruction. Let's think about what could have been the available approaches of the people, the community, and the government when the war was over. There are the available alternative approaches. 1. They could have swept away the ruins of the cathedral and straightforward use the land for future need. 2. They could preserve the remains of the cathedral as a symbol of their previous glory and mark of the destruction. 3. They could build a replica of the old cathedral and use it as a cathedral or something else. And finally, they could build a new cathedral on the site. All of the approaches were proper or appropriate and could have been chosen. The interesting thing is they have chosen them all. How? Firstly, when the war over, they cleaned the debris and converted the space as public space. It is indeed a beautiful public space which been used by many people of the community. Secondly, they preserved the remains of the cathedral as a symbol of their glorious past as well as the remembrance of that bombing event. Thirdly, they built a new cathedral next to the previous one. There was a competition held in 1950 to find an architect for the new Coventry Cathedral. The design of Basil Spence and Arup was chosen from over 200 competition entries. Spence's idea was that instead of rebuilding the old cathedral, it should be kept in ruins as a garden of remembrance, and the new cathedral should be built alongside. The two buildings together will form the new church. The new cathedral adopted a modernist design. The new form is a mirror of that time. It is minimal and avoids any overload of traditional detail. The abstract design of the baptistry window occupies the full height of the new construction, which was then very much contemporary. Feature-wise, element-wise, it is the new cathedral. However, one may argue that this modernist building is also replicating many features of the old cathedral, especially the internal space quality is very much identical, and there are many small details which simply an abstraction of the old. These buildings shows us different approaches to the heritage conservation. Though those two international examples, we have learned some alternative approaches could be taken for the conservation of Khamarbari. In return, the conservation of Khamarbari could have contributed to the development of the area and protect our national heritage from demolition. Thanks for joining us on this journey of the learning the heritage conservation. As we progress, we'll explore why heritage conservation is needed and how it could be contributed to the advancement of our culture. Thank you all.